Hello guys, it's me, Stark, and I'm here to share something very interesting with you. The subject of today's video is the player, MrYo. MrYo is a Chinese player who won the last 1v1 tournament against Hira, so he's one of the guys that dethroned the number one here on some tournament settings, and Yo plays quite different. Here we have two of the greatest Chinese players facing each other, Yo against Vivi. They're playing a 1v1 Arabia, and Yo is playing as Dravidians versus the Japanese. Yes, that's a ranked matchup, and they're just playing random civs. That's why we do get this matchup. But what I want to point out here about MrYo is how this guy thinks outside of the box and what makes him so special. Vivi is a very aggressive and meta player, so he's an insane player on the current meta and knows everything about it, plays Arabia pretty well. I would argue that Arabia is probably Vivi's best map. So he's starting here, playing as the Japanese and going for a Minotaur build. So he's already doing some militias, sending some villagers here to actually lure the Ibex, which is quite interesting. He's actually gonna eat the Ibex and use the cheaper Japanese meal to take benefit of it. Huh? Very, very interesting. Not everyone would do that. People think that luring is the only option, but no, you can use the meal as well. It's only 50 wood, especially if you are Japanese. Apart from that, let's go back here towards Mr. Yo's base. What's happening here to Mr. Yo is that he is getting attacked here by the Men-at-Arms. So the Men-at-Arms and Scouts are already trying to deal some damage to Yo. Yo did wall himself here with some small palisades. I think that Yo is kind of a pioneer on this kind of walling. I remember in a long time ago where people didn't use to wall a lot. He was already the guy that was walling here around the palisades. Anyway, he is now safe, going towards the mill, trying to defend himself with archers. Also, Vivi keeps attacking him, and meanwhile he's trying to counterattack. I find it interesting that Yo didn't spot these deers here from Vivi, and that was quite great. Huh? He also, Yo should actually start to say, okay, something's off here. This guy's not eating the berries. I mean, he should be eating something somewhere. And he's probably trying to go around, but he didn't realize. He was actually just microing defensive here. Let's go towards the Feudal Age. I think that Feudal Age is one of the best ages here for MrYo. He plays very solid on that, and different from other players that actually tend to be either very aggressive, either even going for like forward ranges and stuff. I don't think that Yo is this kind of guy. He's more like an, okay, I'm gonna make my eco here, I'm gonna spend, I'm gonna do a lot of farms, I'm going to make upgrades. On this case, he's not doing Horse Collar, but in most scenarios, I think that Yo is one of the players that plays with Horse Collar the most, and he's just defending, and trying to get good fights. KD right now is way better for MrYo, and here's the thing, I don't think that he's doing anything so special. He's not trying to out-micro his opponent or anything like that. He's just going for good fights. He did realize that his opponent is playing with skirmishers, so he does transition here into Men-at-Arms, which were cheaper to upgrade, and also make their armor. So a few Men-at-Arms and skirmishers can actually repel a big army, and meanwhile he uses his archers to counterattack. So decision making is on point. It's not like he's trying to out-micro Vivi somehow. On this level, to be honest guys, it's very difficult for a player to actually out-micro other. You need a very mechanic player in order to try and get this benefit. Even Hira himself said in some of his videos against in a video against Sorakuma that, okay, when I'm on this kind of crossbowman versus crossbowman, I don't feel like I can outplay or out-micro the guy, and that's correct. At some point the ceiling is so high that you cannot out-micro your opponent, so you actually have to rely on having good fights, small victories, and it's very difficult for a player to overwhelm other. We're talking about 2K7 level, guys. We're talking about some level where everyone knows everything that is there to know about the game. Anyway, MrYo keeps attacking here with his mix of ranged and infantry, and now he does take a very interesting decision, going for 3 ranges. I was like, okay, You are playing versus Japanese. Japanese is doing like several skirmisher. So the idea of the three ranges here is going very heavy towards the crossbowman. As you can see, he's producing archers in all of his ranges. So range approach here for the Dravidians. Okay, it looks like interesting enough. By the way, he did do all the correct eco upgrades. So we can see here horse collar. We can see here the gold shaft mining. So every economical upgrade. And he also did upgrade the archers. He is not fully walled. The game was very intense. Neither is Vivi, so both are quite open. So this game will actually be decided by army. MrYo already starts to drop a town center. This town center here, the goal of it, honestly, I don't think it's already booming, but rather trying to protect his gold here. Because if you take a look, you will see that he's already under a lot of pressure, and since he couldn't wall, trying to secure his gold and some wood here is very necessary. His army won't be everywhere for him. And now he's also adding up a few skirmishers. So archers, skirmishers, and now Viv is doing something similar. Both players are doing a very similar game, small different decisions from each other. For example, Viv is trying to go for the Cav Archers and Mangonel, which is like the Japanese specialty. With the Cav Archers that Dravidians have no access to, Viv can start to overwhelm him. To be honest, guys, I think that Viv is one of the best players using the Cav Archers. He has a great awareness of the situation and where to place his units and how to do every stuff here. So pretty good guy. And there comes MrYo doing something that I don't believe that any other player on this game would be doing, which is actually going for Elephant Archers. Dravidian Elephant Archers. It's very uncommon for you to see a player using this kind of unit. This actually shows how different this player actually is. The Dravidian Elephant Archers actually fire faster, if I'm not mistaken. There he goes. Both Skirmisher and Elephant Archer attack 25% faster. So, as Bengalis actually need like pikes, their unique upgrade to actually fire faster, Dravidians already do that for free. So they already are a very dangerous unit to play against. Not to mention that the Elephant Archer has more than 200 HP, it's a tank, and it actually has one more attack than a crossbowman. And honestly, that does make a huge difference, especially when you are fighting against units like the Elite Skirmisher. You are actually going to deliver more damage than a regular archer. Not only that, but it's very hard to take down a single Elephant Archer. Monks are a great option. The problem is when numbers start to grow a bit. So MrYo now has 3 TCs, he's trying to boom, he's trying to develop. Meanwhile, his other ranged units are about to get killed here by enemy knights and mangonels, and he is still attacking here using the Elephant Archers. Getting a few conversions, it happens. Now going to add the siege, and there we see the guy going for like his 4th town center in Arabia while playing Elephant Archer. Honestly, this blew my mind. I'm used to see players staying 1 TC for a while, playing a maximum of 3 TCs, especially in a game that is pretty much an offensive one, but instead this guy is coming here to play with his own Elephant Archers, despite the damage from the enemy monks. And there goes the elephants. Alright, there they go. Look how strong this unit is, and we are just not paying enough attention to that. He took down the monks, he easily took down the mangonels. Different from the crossbowmen, taking a few hits from the mangonels is not the end of the world for this unit. They are of course going to lose some HP, but honestly they can tank multiple shots and kill the mangos. He's aiming on the enemy Elephant Archers himself. The enemy's Elite Skirmishers barely do any damage because of its high stats here, both HP and armor. The Cav Archers, which are trying to counterattack, are now facing such a threat, because MrYo has reached his best composition here. Skirmishers, Elite Skirmishers and Elephants. Remember that those 2 units actually shoot faster as Dravidians, and honestly that's not something we see every day. This unit that is even more expensive than a knight, being used here during the Castle Age. And there goes MrYo, developing his economy big time here, 4 town centers. Sometimes he goes idle because of the cost of keeping the elephants up, but as soon enough he will be able to keep producing both villagers and army non-stop. Not only that, but he's already clicking towards the next age, not to mention that he does have a castle here on the center of the map that allows him to secure some of the extra resources. So there we go guys, Japanese versus Dravidian, and we are not seeing infantry here, only now a few roomy swordsmen being made by MrYo. I think that this unit is actually not so good on this situation because it actually dies quite easily to enemy ranged units because of its low armor. The elephants keep pressuring, now some elite skirmisher. Viv starts to develop his game here using one of the best tools here from the Japanese, using here the towers. Now with the towers, and Dravidians keep attacking, with these towers, he should actually be able to at least stop a bit the Dravidian from getting so much leverage. This has become a huge elite skirmisher war, and now we are going towards the siege and the towers. Japanese do have Kataparuto, which Vivi is researching. This unique technology will actually allow his trebuchets to shoot a lot faster, pack and unpack faster, so that's the ultimate weapon for the Japanese. That's their best siege, trebuchets that actually shoot faster. This projectile barely hit the castle and he's already shooting again, so that's it, more speed from the projectiles. But meanwhile, don't forget that MrYo is playing with the Dravidians, and with the Dravidians he also has great options. One of these options is the bombard cannon. The bombard cannon, which just happened to die here. I think that Yo did realize that he was under siege and did delete his bombard cannon, can actually shoot down multiple trebuchets. His castle goes down because of the Kataparuto, but he still has his trebuchets up and he still has some bombard cannons. There comes the enemy monks. Those can be very threatening because they can try to convert the bombard cannons if they have access to redemption. Very nice dodge here from Vivi, at least worked for a while, and he is actually winning the siege war big time here. What will you going to do here? He's just going for another castle, bit more on the back, and try to secure his position. So a lot of skirmishers. To be honest, if I were Vivi, I would already be thinking about, okay, I'm winning the trap wars, I'm controlling the gold, I have castles, I have elite skirmisher. What about transitioning into something like the samurai? But no, Vivi is still investing here heavily into their trebuchets, just getting now siege engineers, which will give extra range and extra damage output for his own traps. So keeping these castles up is going to be such a difficult challenge here for MrYo, who's playing now with a lot of elite skirmishers and bombard cannons. With his bombard cannons, he can actually try to snipe down the enemy traps, good snipe on the enemy monk. Losing a cannon to a monk is a huge problem here for him. And there comes Mr. Vivi trying to defend from MrYo using the trebuchets. As you can see, trebuchets can kill bombard cannons in one shot. Meanwhile, bombard cannons need 3 shots to kill trebuchets. Which one is better? The bombard cannons. Well, they can move, they can dodge the shoots here. They just have to keep moving and shoot, moving and shoot. So despite how fast and how good these trebuchets are, they are still a very static unit. So the bombard cannons know exactly when where they have to shoot, and they just can keep moving. So by the time the trebuchet shoots, they are already out of the danger zone. So because of that, with the good use of the bombard cannons, MrYo do manage to take down the enemy trebuchets. Now he resumed his operation of besieging here with the trebuchets. But as I said, guys, don't beware of the Japanese infantry, which now is getting upgraded, and also beware of these towers, the Asama towers, which are pretty powerful here from Vivi. He's about to reach his final game composition, and MrYo has resumed his operation and gone back to the elephant archers. Not only he's doing a lot of elephant archers, but he also did research this specific upgrade here called Medical Corps. It's a very cheap upgrade for an Imperial Age, and actually allows your elephants to regenerate up to 30 HP per minute. Honestly, this is insane, and the biggest thing that this does is that it's like if you had monks nearby your elephants every time. They're just going to self-heal. So even if you try to slowly deal damage to the elephant, to the enemy elephant ball, like, oh, I'm just going to get multiple fights using elite skirmisher and Russars, for example, and trying to kill one at once, it becomes very difficult because the Dravidian player just needs to take out the guy that is injured and need to just heal himself itself automatically. So as time goes by, this increases the effectiveness of the elephant archers. Meanwhile, Viv is trying to raid using Elite Samurai. That's probably his best unit, but the number of DCs from MrYo and a few elephants chasing them down makes this task quite difficult. A hand cannoneer is a great counter to the samurai. Arbalest could do something as well, but the elephants, they are just way too good. Not only they have more attack than all of the other options that I just said, but exception with the hand cannoneer, but also they can dive here and even receive some damage from enemy castles without just dying. You try to do something similar with Arbalest, you are just going to lose all of them. You do that with Elephant, you might just lose like one or two, and then you can go back and do it. So very difficult to deal with the Elephant here. The Samurai are trying, they are doing their best here to snipe the enemy bombard cannons, to snipe the enemy trebuchets, but this mass of Elephant makes every task very difficult. The towers are probably Viv's best ally here, because they are actually allowing him to keep some good map control and deny MrYo from eating everything. But now he goes for another Dravidian weapon, the Siege Elephant. He started here with the Armored Elephant, and guys, Medical Corps also allow his siege to regenerate. So this is insane. His siege right now is getting attacked here by enemy skirmishers, but at the same time as his siege elephants are getting attacked, they are also slowly regenerating. A siege unit that regenerates itself is such a threat, and because of that, this is such a problem. Vivi even tries to counter here using his monks, but with this amount of skirmishers on the field, the monks have no chance of trying to convert the siege unit. And now with both siege elephant that regenerate himself, trebuchets and his ball of elephants, Yo keeps advancing. So basically guys, his composition from early Castle Age just got upgraded and supported by extra siege units. And he does have one trash, one gold unit and siege. The three units that you should be doing on the Imperial Age, no matter the Civ. One trash unit, one gold unit and siege. So he's doing all of them. His elephant archers just make life very miserable for the elite samurai. They are the best unit from Vivi, but they can barely touch or reach this battlefield without dying to this 11 attack unit with almost 300 HP that also regenerate itself. So very difficult game here for Vivi. Even taking down the elephant becomes very annoying because of their free regenerating factor. And Yo keeps advancing, keeps attacking. Now he's going towards more support units, going for multiple stables to go for the Wood Steel Cavalry. The Dravidian Cavalry, guys, is pretty bad for combat. Honestly, it's pretty bad. The reason it's pretty bad is quite simple. It does lack bloodlines, it does lack the last armor, so any unit, any civilization with bloodlines will have a better cavalry, a better light cavalry, sorry, on the start of the feudal age, sorry, the castle age, while Dravidian will still be struggling here with its bad units. That's quite bad, it's quite annoying. It's not the best thing that can happen to a civ to have this cavalry, but still it has a very utilitarian factor. If you do upgrade the crown here for Dravidian called Wood Steel, your cavalry and your infantry as well are going to ignore armor. So basically, when hitting an enemy unit, it will actually shows that like your light cavalry will have 14 attack because it will ignore the armor. I'm considering 14 against a regular unit like a skirmisher or like a halberdier, like any unit that only has 3 melee armor. But to be honest, even if you are trading against some heavy armored unit like a Tilton Knight, you are just going to deliver 14 damage per hit. So it's insane, and it can actually do a lot of HP draining against enemy units. So different from a good mid shield, this light cavalry has a more utilitarian factor. It's good to snipe out specific units such as traps, it's good for melee combats, so there is a lot of things that you can actually take benefit when playing with this this unit here, the light cavalry with wood steel. As you can see, there's a pack of Japanese samurai trying to go over the map. They're pretty fast, so they can actually escape here from the elephants, but they are losing losing like several HP. The cavalry is constantly attacking it. I don't know if you already has his unique upgrade here, the wood steel. Let's check. 29, and just received this huge amount of damage. Exactly, guys. Elite Samurai trying to run out from this cavalry is like running from Farimba cavalry. That also from Farimba cavalry. It's something insane. It's a very good light cavalry. Very underestimated because of its defensive stats. A unit that does a lot of damage despite not tanking so much of it. And there he goes. He keeps attacking. His elephant archers always going out in and outside of the battle. If he manages to go back and play together here with the light cavalry and the skirmisher, it's such an insane unit. And he's also dropping like several barracks here on the bottom to secure the corner. By the way, he's starting to make halberdiers, and as it might not seem like the best unit, remember that these halberdiers also do ignore armor. So in the 1v1, Dravidian halberdier will effectively deal 10 damage per hit. 10 damage per hit. It doesn't matter the unit, it will enforce its 10 damage once you have the golden crown. So such an insane unit. And that's basically it, guys. MrYo did manage here to upgrade his army and play and make the elephant archer work in a 1v1 Arabia. Quite interesting matchup. I think that a lot of players would just try to keep playing like skirmishers, crossbowmen, maybe trying to think about going for arbalest plus champion, skirmisher plus champion on Imperial Age. Very few players would think about going for the ally archers. So be creative, be original, play like MrYo, and do the units that are great for your civilization, but often you are not doing. By the way, guys, he never did like a 40 elephant archers mass. It was always like a small group, but a very effective one. I don't think that we saw like more than 20 elephant archers for him at some time, but just having a small group of those guys just proved to be very and very useful. Hope you guys enjoyed this game. This was MrYo against Vivi. Think outside of the box, play like MrYo, and we'll be back for more games.